Hey. So, welcome everyone. Today we're diving into one of the most intriguing mysteries from our distant past, the Anunnaki. Were they gods, as the ancient Sumerians believed? Were they aliens, as some of the modern writers suggest? Or were they something else entirely? Perhaps symbols of power, imagination, or the mysteries of human origins. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll explore the origins of the Anunnaki, their descriptions in the world's earliest writings, and how their story has been reshaped in the modern era into one of the most popular ancient alien theories. By the end, you'll have both the facts and, of course, the mysteries, so you can form your own view. I invite you to listen with curiosity and keep asking yourself, what feels like myth and what feels like possibility? I want to start with a hook question. Okay. What if the oldest gods were more than myths? What if the gods described in the world's oldest stories were more than myths? Imagine you're living over 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, the land known as today Iraq. You look up at the stars, you see the floods of the Tigris and the Euphrates, and wonder who controls it all. The Sumerians, one of the world's first civilizations, gave names and personalities to these powers. They believed in a great pantheon of deities who shaped their human destiny. Among them were the Anunnaki. In those times, they weren't seen as aliens, reptilians, or interplanetary minors. They were divine beings of immense authority. Only later in our modern age of space exploration and science fiction would people reimagine them in a different light. But before we leap into the mysterious theories, let's take a step back and see where it all began. The cradle of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia. To understand the Anunnaki, we must examine Mesopotamia itself. The word means land between the rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, obviously. So this fertile crescent gave rise to the Sumerians around 4000 BCE, followed by the Akkadians, the Babylonians, and the Assyrians. These cultures invented writing, built the first cities, and developed systems of law and astronomy. And woven through every aspect of their lives was religion. And that's got a bit of a question mark on it, as we'll see. Temples called ziggurats rose above city skylines, serving as both political and spiritual centers. The gods were believed to dwell in the heavens, but to visit earth through these sacred spaces. The Anunnaki weren't minor spirits, they were among the most important figures in this cosmic drama. When we read the cuneiform tablets left behind, we gain insight into how the earliest human storytellers explained the world around them. And the Anunnaki are right there at the heart of it all. So who were the Anunnaki? Their name literally means offspring of Anu. Offspring of Anu. Anu was the great sky god, the father of the heavens, and the supreme deity of the Sumerian pantheon. The Anunnaki were considered his children, a group of powerful gods who carried out his will. In early myths, They numbered 50, though different stories list them differently. They weren't all benevolent. Some were associated with justice, others with the underworld, and still others with storms of fertility. Think of them as a divine council like the Greek Olympians or the Norse gods Badolder. They decided human fate and acted as intermediaries between heaven and earth. What's fascinating is that the Anunnaki weren't just background figures. They were central to the way Mesopotamians understood life, death, and cosmic order. And this makes their later reinterpretation even more intriguing. The earliest Sumerian and Akkadian text describe the Anunnaki as judges and rulers. They weren't distant, abstract ideas. They were active participants in the unfolding of human life. In the myth of Inanda's descent, when the goddess of love and war travels to the underworld, the Anunnaki appear as judges of the dead. In other tales, they are linked to the fate of kings, deciding who rules and for how long. Their power extended across the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. Importantly, they were not described as alien visitors, but as divine beings who reflected the values and fears of the society that worshipped them. They explained why floods happened, why rulers rose and fell, and why human destiny seemed guided by forces beyond control. It's only in the modern age that their image shifts from mythic gods to possibly extraterrestrials. Now, I'm going to show you a video, and this is, here we are.
Hold the key to understanding our true origins. Well, imagine a time when gods descended from the stars to shape human history, bringing with them secrets so powerful they could change the world. This isn't some made-up fantasy. It's the story of the Anunnaki, a mysterious group of deities believed to have come from another world. Thousands of years ago, in the land of Sumer, modern-day Iraq, the Anunnaki appeared, not as distant figures in stories, but as real beings who interacted with mankind. These gods were said to have arrived from a planet called Nibiru, a place beyond our solar system. The people of Sumer, one of the oldest civilizations, believed the Anunnaki weren't just gods. They were powerful beings who came to Earth with a mission. According to ancient Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki didn't just sit on a throne in the sky. They lived among the people, teaching them advanced knowledge. They taught them how to farm, how to read the stars, and how to build cities. The stories claim that the Anunnaki had technology so advanced that it seemed magical to the people at the time. But what was the real reason behind their arrival? The Anunnaki had a plan. Some ancient writings suggest that they were searching for gold, and they needed humans to help mine it for them. In exchange, they gave humans knowledge and skills that pushed the civilization forward. This idea raises even more questions. Did the Anunnaki see humans as slaves? Or were they here to help us evolve into something greater? One of the most fascinating parts of the Anunnaki story is their involvement in the creation of humanity itself. Some researchers believe that the Anunnaki genetically engineered early humans, mixing their own DNA with that of primitive Earth creatures. This theory, known as the ancient astronaut hypothesis, suggests that humans weren't just an accident of evolution, but the result of intervention from beings beyond Earth. Could it be true? Did the Anunnaki give us our intelligence, our capacity for creativity, and the ability to build civilizations? As the Anunnaki taught the Sumerians, they also created a complex system of gods and myths laid.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. And if you want links to these videos, obviously we don't have notes. I can email them to you. So just in the comments, which I will see at the end of the show, or in the chat, just say that you'd like then I can create a takeaway with the links in them, if you'd like that. So please just jot it down. Okay, let's move on and bring the screen back on. There we are. Right. Let me take you into one of the world's oldest stories, the Epic of Gilgamesh. This isn't just a dusty tablet. It's a living, breathing tale of a king searching for immortality. And in the shadows of his quest, the Anunnaki appear. Not as characters you would like shake hands with, but as forces that shape his destiny. They stand between the scenes, weaving the fabric of life and death. When I read these lines myself, I see aliens with mining tools, nor do I see the harmless bedtime gods. Okay, I see a council of something, older, stranger, and maybe far beyond our categories. These are the places where myth touches mystery that I mentioned at the beginning. Okay, I like Gilgamesh himself. You're still trying to decode what they meant. Then you're with me. Okay, no doubt about it. So when we talk about what you see on the screen now, a flood of stories, a flood of meaning. In another tale, the sky cracks open and the waters rise, and the great deluge of rain and water and floods. Before Noah, before the ark, there was a Sumerian flood hero named Utapishintim, also known as Sudra. The Anunnaki are there too, deciding who survives and who vanishes beneath the waves. Was this just a myth to explain a flood? Maybe. Or maybe it held a memory of some real catastrophe. Here's where my storyteller's mind drifts. If the Anunnaki were only symbols, why do echoes of their decisions ripple across so many cultures? Perhaps like a recurring dream, something real hid beneath the story. Something powerful enough that generations kept retelling it. Adding new names, new faces, but the same pulse of mystery. Enter Zecharia Sitchin, the man who rewrote the tablets. So we fast forwarding now to the 1970s, and this man you see in the image walks into this ancient world with modern eyes. Yes, okay. It's interesting because the chat comes up in front of my screen. Thanks about that. So he reads the cuneiform tablets and sees not gods, but visitors. He writes the 12th planet, as you can see it in the image there, stating that the Anunnaki were astronauts from a world called Nibiru, which we heard in the video. Then they came here, he says, to mine gold, to shape us in their image. Was he right? The mainstream scholars say, of course, no. But here's my view. Sitchin gave modern people permission to wonder. He cracked open a door between dusty museum myths and cosmic possibilities. Whether you agree with him or not, his story transformed the Anunnaki into something more than a footnote. He made them a living mystery again, and in storytelling, that matters. Nibiru, gold, and the human experiment. Now we stand at the edge of imagination. The story goes like this. The Anunnaki came from Nibiru, a planet on a long elliptical orbit that wanders through space. They needed gold to repair their atmosphere. They found it here on Earth. They engineered humans as workers, giving us their spark, which means a genetic leap. When I first read this part of me laughed. Okay. Another part went silent because what if? What if behind the metaphors and the mistranslations there is a grain of truth? Myth can be a coded memory. We might be reading the world's oldest origin story. A story not just of gods, but of visitors. It's not about believing or disbelieving. It's about staying awake to the mystery. Let me show you another short video. And don't forget, you must ask if you want these links, okay?
It's common links of creation and religion. In Christianity, it's the word. In Hinduism, it's Om. The Egyptians believed the universe was sung into creation, and the original people of Australia believed that the world was created with 3 sacred songs. And then we have the phenomenal similarities between the 6 days of creation in Christianity and the word that created everything, the 6 aspects of Om, and the 6 aspects of the all-seeing eye of Horus, and you start seeing the connections between all these ancient cultures and the creation stories. And then the creation stories get even more interesting when you read the Hindu creation story. It says, everything was so peaceful and silent that Vishnu slept undisturbed by dreams or motion. From the depths, a humming sound began to tremble.
Imagine the beginnings of the universe, an expanse of silence shattered by a singular sound. Can this be the true genesis of all existence? Today we delve into the theory that sound, that resonance, is the true breath of the Creator. A theory that this divine frequency could be the source code for everything in existence, including the blueprint of life itself, our DNA. Let's unravel the harmony that binds us as we explore how sound is truly responsible for everything in creation.
Sound is the source of all creation. Sound and resonance is responsible for everything. It is the breath of the Creator, the prime resonance frequency, and the source code for everything in creation, including our DNA. And this is from Dan Winter's brilliant documentaries and work on the DNA and sound and resonance. I would recommend you check out Dan Winter's work on that as well, how cymatics and sound helps to form and shape our DNA and the structure of our DNA based on the cymatics. And that word cymatics, it comes from Hans Jenny in the 50s and 60s, the brilliant work that he did and showed us how sound and resonance is responsible for everything in creation.
The similarity between cymatic shapes and sacred geometry is striking. The geometric forms we observe in cymatic experiments echo those revered in sacred geometry. Is it mere coincidence or a profound connection? The parallels between these mandalas and cymatic shapes are awe-inspiring. Each mandala, with its complex geometric design, resonates with the same intrinsic beauty found within cymatic patterns. This interconnection suggests that ancient wisdom understood and revered the fundamental role sound plays in creation. The mandala, sacred geometry, cymatics, they are all parts of an exquisite cosmic symphony, with sound as the maestro.
This is the most basic, fundamental demonstration how sound and resonance manifests into physical form. And I just cannot get enough of it. I can watch it millions of times. Every frequency has its own specific shape, a prime resonance frequency. Are you only looking at a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional effect? I think he actually uses rice on a metal plate here.
Sand has been thrown on that plate, vibrating at different frequencies, at different shapes.
And this is just in the spectrum that we can hear. You can imagine in the low frequencies that we can't hear, it has the same effect. The higher the frequency, the more complex the shapes. The lower the frequency, the more basic and the larger the shapes. The wavelengths get shorter and shorter as you go higher.
Okay, let's stop there. I find that concept just so interesting, and well, we'll see what happens as we move and end the class too, because a lot has been done. And Michael Tellinger is the founder of one small town that I've been emailing about, and so keep a watch on the one small town that I've mentioned before. So tablets, translations, and space between. Okay, here's where the story slows and we take a breath. We have actual cuneiform tablets, thousands of them. Okay, we can read most of them. Scholars translate them carefully, and they don't say aliens from Nibiru anywhere. That's true. However, we also know that text can be hidden, symbols can shift, and meanings can be lost. Between what is written and what is meant lies a vast shimmering space, a space where myth is born. As your storyteller, I'm not here to close the case. I'm here to walk with you through that space where the Anunnaki stand like silhouettes, half God, half stranger, half reflection of ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, that's why they still call to us after 5,000 years. Now we go from dusty tablets to TV screens. Over the last 50 years, the Anunnaki have leapt out of clay tablets and into the collective imagination. They show up in documentaries, in cosmic books, and entire online communities. Some refer to them as ancient astronauts, others describe them as reptilian rulers hiding in plain sight. When I watch these shows, I don't see entertainment. I see a growing hunger to remember something that has been forgotten. The storytellers of our age are echoing the storytellers of Sumer, layering new skins on an old mystery. In my view, this isn't a fad. It's a sign. People feel there's more to our past than we've been told, and the Anunnaki story has become a kind of beacon for that profound truth. Sound as a forgotten technology. Picture walking into a chamber where a low hum shakes your bones. The ancient built such places. In Malta's hypogeum, a human voice at 110 hertz can set the whole underground singing. In South America's cavern tunnels, conch horns echo like thunder. These aren't accidents. They're designs. I believe sound wasn't just a ritual. It was a technology. It could alter consciousness, maybe even matter. Michael Tellinger has demonstrated how stone circles in South Africa function as giant resonating devices, humming in harmony with the Earth's energy. Sue and I have been to those stone circles. Michael Tellinger argues that the Anunnaki used these frequencies to move stone, generate power, and perhaps even transform life itself. When I stand inside one of those circles, in my mind, I don't hear myth, I hear a pulse, a memory of time when frequency was the true tool of the builders. Okay. And I'm just going to show you a video of Michael Tellinger himself at the stone circles that we have been to. And
stand here, you can see them going up. You can see those lines of grass going up there. Those are terraces. Those are actually ancient terraces. So let's take a slow walk up here and I'll just talk you through what we find and some of the amazing historic places that we are walking on, that we're standing on right here.
Okay, I want to stop there, and I just wanted to introduce him to you. As I said, the founder of one small town that's producing amazing technology now, okay? And, you know, I wonder where it comes from, okay? And I speak to him often, almost every day now that I look after the One Small Town Australian website. So sound is one key, and light is another key, okay? Think of the great stone structures aligning the solstices and the stars. Think of shafts in the pyramids that point to Orion's belt. Tellinger and other researchers propose that light, magnetism, and sound were integrated into unified energy system, a lost science of resonance. Not cables and wires, but shapes and harmonics. Not power plants as we know them, but structures that drew energy from the earth and sky. The mainstream calls it a coincidence. I call it a code, a blueprint left in stone for those early ready to see. And maybe the Anunnaki weren't just gods or aliens, but teachers, leaving behind a classroom of megaliths for us to ever discover. Okay. So, this is where I step out of the shadows and share my own view. I believe the Anunnaki were real, not just in stories, but in action. I believe they, or beings like them, seeded knowledge of frequency, sound, and light into early civilizations. We see echoes of this knowledge of sacred geometry, ancient temples, and forgotten text. Mainstream archaeology shrugs, But every time a stone circle hums, every time a pyramid focuses on energy, another piece of the puzzle surfaces. You don't have to accept this as gospel. Just feel it for a moment. Stand in the ruins with me. Imagine the hum, the glow, the presence. It's not about proving or disproving. Okay. So we come to the question that we began this class with. Who were the Anunnaki? Gods, aliens, or something entirely different? I can give you facts, but facts alone don't touch the heart of a mystery. In my own virtual travels through these stories and sites, I've come to see the Anunnaki as an ancient beings who walked among us, bringing knowledge of energy, resonance, and creation itself. So whether you call them gods or teachers or interstellar family, their legacy hums beneath our feet and sings about our heads. Okay, and it's an invitation to listen differently. Okay, so I'm not sure why. Maybe we've come. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, it looks like we might have come quite close to the end. I haven't got a timer or something here. Let's just see. Can you still see the slide? I can't see.
No, okay, now I can see the slide.
Now I see the slides.
Yeah.
Okay, you're seeing the slides now. Okay, I can hear your voices when you talk. I can't see you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, lessons from the deep, as you can see on the slide now. So we've traveled from the dawn of Sumer to the hidden depths beneath the pyramids. And what emerges is less a straight story and more a map of possibility. What I take away is this. Knowledge is layered. The ancients passed down clues in stone, sound, and light. Their greatest tool may have been resonance itself, not just for ritual, but for transformation as well. The recent sonar claims hint at vast chambers and tall pillars hidden under the pyramids, structures that could have functioned as resonant amplifiers. Imagine stone halls tuned to echo the hum of the earth, channels that carry frequencies upward, and the giant columns that dance with waves. Even if the conventional world disputes these findings, the poet in me hears them as a call. Rebuild the bridge between myth and science, between what we see and what we sense. Let the curiosity, I say to you, be the guide. Okay, and here we arrive, neither full or fully believers nor skeptics, but explorers. So we've walked with me, you walked with me through myths, alternative theories, and bold claims about sound, light, and underground chambers. We now hold your own view. You now hold your own view. As for me, I believe the Anunnaki left behind more than stories. They left frequencies in stone, blueprints in geometry, and tunnels under pyramids as gateways to remembering. You know, you may know the recent sonar discoveries of hidden rooms under Gaza, including vertical cylindrical shafts, multi-level pyramids, and spiral passageway. You'll see it now. It's just been in 2025 released because we've had the technology and we can see under the pyramids. So this class doesn't end here. It opens. So go to bed tonight and watch a video when you wake up. Look at a ruin, a hum or a chant, a tone. Ask, what if these structures still speak?